All right, here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We're back with another live episode of Real Estate Uncensored. Sadly, Greg McDaniel is having technical issues and cannot join us today, but we've got a special guest here with us, and we're talking about a very special event, the Get Listing Summit, that a couple of my good friends and people that you know, and a lot of other people that you know are actually on. So just want to talk about that for a minute. And let's welcome in the host and the brains behind this summit, Andrey Polston. Am I saying that correctly?
You are.
Awesome, man.
And thank
Welcome.
you.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what, how you got into this.
Well, I was an agent 6-7 years ago, and before I became an agent, I was actually in real estate marketing a little bit. I was doing real estate SEO, real estate website development, then became an agent. Did that for a couple of years, and since then I've been consulting in the industry off and on with a lot of different real estate based companies. And so I've worn a lot of different marketing and sales hats in the real estate industry. And primarily for real estate agents, the biggest thing is listings, right? Listings, leads, and leverage. Those are the three pillars. But all really kind of, if you can control your listings, you can control your destiny and your future. So the Get Listing Summit is me putting together what I think is going to be, what possibly could be, and I hope it will be, the most valuable contribution to the industry around on how to do listings, how to win at the game of listings. And like you said, there's people on there that you know, so it's pulled together. I started out with a vision of hoping to get about 20 good speakers. That's what I was hoping for on the summit. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. It's blown up to over 40 speakers now. And it's all just about real estate rock stars who are winning at the game of listings. And it's, what are you doing? And it's just a deep, deep dive and breakdown with each one of them into how are you winning at the game of listings, whether it's getting the leads, nurturing, converting the leads, whether it's about the listing appointment, maximizing leads, maximizing listings for more listings. We got one guy on there, Chris Suarez from Portland. He's an agent who's done a little over 200 transactions last year with his team. They have an open house strategy, for example, an open house strategy that usually generates 2 new clients per open house. And before his interview with him, I've never really been a fan of open houses. And just in 1 hour, he completely transformed what I think about that. So yeah, it's a place for agents to come and just take listings to a whole new level.
Very cool. So what's in the sessions that you've done, anything that, I guess let's go with the open houses for a second. What was it that kind of jumped out, without giving away the secret sauce of what Chris is talking about? What kind of changed your perspective on that?
Well, what changed my perspective is that he has a step-by-step 6-step process. And that process, when he uses it, he's moved to 3 different cities, right? He's transplanted himself. And as a real estate agent, that's like the worst thing you can do, right? Is leave the base where you've built up your business, your farming, all that, and leave. And he has each time used this strategy using other agents' listings in his brokerage, wherever he's at. He's used this strategy 3 times over to go from 0 to hero in his business, within 90 days, literally using open houses. And for example, one of the things that he breaks down in his interview is his exact opening question to everybody who walks through that tells him which way he needs to go, whether they're a buyer or seller, and then the next 3 things he says, and in a way that gets people to want to talk to you. So just the fact that he's done it repeatedly is what really stood out, and he's used it in different markets, and he can build a business with open houses. It's incredible.
Very cool. All right, so I think we may have finally got Greg on the line here. Greg, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
It's been a journey. We spent 25 minutes trying to resolve things with Greg's computer, and turns out turning it off and on again apparently did the trick. We should have tried that 25 minutes ago.
Or just a swift kick to the hard drive, with my foot.
Yeah.
The equivalent of a human's balls.
Right. All right. So Greg, you're part of the Get Listing Summit. So give us an idea of what did you share, or what will you be sharing?
Andrey and I, we recorded last week, and we covered just a ton of prospecting stuff. We were kind of chopping it up afterwards, and I'm like, well, is there anything else you want me to talk about? And we're going to do, I think, Andrey, we're recording this coming Friday, this Friday afternoon on social media. And so
yes,
I've been reading
all things interwebs.
Yes. Interwebs it is, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have some good stuff. I've been reading a ton of stuff. And by the way, Andrey, welcome back from the dead, my friend. That must not
Thank
have
you.
been fun.
It was not fun. No, I got a violent case of food poisoning Friday and had to cancel all interviews Friday. And yeah, I was laid up. Yeah, thanks. Good to be back. This time it won't kill me. Just make me weirder.
Well, good. Hey, we all need a little bit of weird in our life, you know. And it's a great weight loss program too. So those
It
pesky
is.
holiday
It is.
pounds, goodbye.
Yep, gone. It's gone.
Yeah, that is the least pleasant way to lose them, other than going to a 2-week boot camp at the gym where they just kill you for 2 hours a day. And
Yeah.
that's the only worst way I can think of to lose that weight.
Nasty.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, Andre and I had a great time. You guys are gonna see how he records this stuff. He acts as a student, and then like asked me. He has got great questions. He pulled out some wonderful information. When we got done recording, Matt, this will go to your point about me always being too dense with information. And he don't roll your eyes at me.
I did just roll my eyes at you.
And he's like, I'm like, well, did we get enough information? He's like, dude, we covered content. I'm like, we did? Oh, cool. So we're coming back out. We're gonna do it again.
Man. Much like food poisoning, Greg, it flows out of you like a river. But anyway, let's take a question here real quick. This is from the
So
Lead
gross.
Gen Subscription Objections group. Debbie Sasser-Burge asks, so I'm going to start targeting neighborhoods in my area. I'm going to start with postcards. Do you think they work? And any other suggestions? So, Greg, how would you suggest somebody get started with postcards if they choose to go that way?
My recommendation, look, postcards are very, very good. They serve their purpose, but postcards were the equivalent of what Facebook ads are now. Okay, they're trying to go out to a large area in a circumference around a specific property, bringing a message. But the fact of the matter is, if I can go out for a tenth of a cent or 2 cents or 10 cents per click or per interaction versus 60 to 70 cents per card with a shelf life of 3 seconds, and Facebook has built algorithms that will, directly try to direct that lead towards one action or another. We use CoreFact, and so CoreFact, what the value is for them is the fact they have a unique code. So every time they log in to get their value again, you get notified. But you also, you have to be persistent and consistent on it. You have to have a budget on it. You have to be understanding and willing to know the fact that you're not going to get one card out, one call back. It's not how this is going to go. It's going to be lots and lots and lots of money consistently every 2 weeks, every month, once a week, whatever it's going to be. But you have a schedule and a budget and be able to take that hit financially. Because once you're like 2 months in, you're like, oh, it's not working. We are not going to do it anymore. Well, yeah, man, it's not ever going to work because you didn't stick the time out. So if you have the budget and you have the wherewithal to make it happen, then sure, go for it. My personal opinion, and I talk with my team all the time about it, is that I don't really want to do that. I would rather spend on digital ads. I would rather do Facebook Lives, Periscope, Instagram Lives. I would like to touch people in that manner versus a postcard. One, all of those are free. Two, you can do a Facebook Live. You can then download it and upload it as a video ad and reconstitute that information. Then take that out over to rev.com, translate it, bring it over to LinkedIn, bring it out to Twitter, put it up on your blog, put it on your website, and then take it out and put it on YouTube. So for a very little amount of money, you can touch a lot more people and save yourself, you can get a quicker result. So easy question, long answer. Again, dense.
Yeah, that's all right. And I'll give my 2 cents in a second, but Andre, I want to turn to you. So out of when now close to or slightly over 40 people that you've interviewed for the Get Listing Summit, how many of them, just ballpark it, even mentioned postcards as part of their listing domination strategy?
From the interviews that I have, they're broken up into 3 categories: perspective, principle, and practice. So perspective are CEOs and platform leaders. They wouldn't say anything about that, obviously, because they're not out there actually generating listings themselves. Mm-hmm. Coaches, maybe a couple in terms of the agents, which is principles. Oh, sorry, practice, people who are actually practicing stuff. So agents, sure. I would say 3 off the top of my head.
Really?
Yeah, 3.
Really cool.
The most interesting feedback was from Kevin Smits. He's what they call a 7th level or something like that, a business owner in the KW terms. He has a business in Denver. They did over 200 transactions last year. They're on track to do 300 this year, but he lives in Puerto Rico. So he's an absentee owner and his business runs. Yeah. What he mentioned about postcards is this. He sends the exact same one. He never changes it, which I thought was really surprising. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't send them out spaced out across a year. He intensifies them how often he sends them in the listing season and right before listing season, because that's when more people are going to list. And he de-escalates how often he sends them out throughout the rest of the year.
Nice.
And then
I
I
like
can
that.
and
That's good
then I
strategy.
can tell you, and then I can tell you a postcard that I've sent out in 3 different states, Florida, California, and Washington, that has pulled in 5 to sometimes up to an incredibly unbelievable 7% call-in rate, where 7% of people pick up the phone and call in on it, which anytime I tell people, they think I'm lying until they go try it. Is a postcard that you do this, and this is very specific. Take your camera or your phone, go in front of the neighborhood and take a picture of the welcome sign to the neighborhood, like welcome to Stonebrook, welcome to Stony Ridge, or take a picture of a landmark that people who live in the neighborhood drive by every single day, right? They see it every day. Use that as the picture for the postcard. And don't make it a glossy picture. Make it a very grainy picture like you would off your iPhone or with like a camera. Like, this is not a slick looking postcard. You put that on there. Use 6x9. You're gonna if you're gonna do this, like Greg says, it's gonna be a budget, but you have to invest in a slightly bigger postcard so that picture stops them. Because like I think it was you, Matt, who just said it has a shelf life of 3 seconds, right? Or maybe Greg said it has a shelf life of 3 seconds. The first step is to trip the croc brain and get them to stop and pay attention to it. So a picture of something they see every day is very relatable to them. There's something close to my proximity, so it's going to pause them. On the headline, you're going to say something like affecting their home values, something that the city of X is doing to affect their home values, or what is your home going to be worth 3 months from now, right? But you got to put the city name. Put the city name. And then the call to action is that I've used is call this pre-recorded automated hotline. Call this automated number for pre-recorded information. I use recorded information. If they say yes, they want more information, they can leave a voicemail, or it can live transfer you to connect with them as a live lead, depending on what system you're using. The 800 number, what it does, or just saying you call an automated hotline, it removes the fear of talking to a salesperson.
Yep.
And so it makes it safer to call. They'll call in. This postcard in 3 different states has pulled a 5 to 7% call-in rate consistently.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. I love it.
There's
a lot of elements to that.
3 to 5%. I mean, you're walking on water, backwards, speaking Latin. If you get 1, I mean, that's an amazing.
No, this will. I'm telling you, this will pull consistently 5%. There's more. There's some more details to it, like. You're not putting your picture anywhere. This seems like a community announcement postcard.
How dare you?
How
dare you not flat my picture across everything?
You're right. On the back side, this is a direct response strategy. This isn't a branding strategy. Now, in Kevin Smith's case, his postcards are branding. He sends out the same one. Like he says, it's all about presence. So it's about what you're going for, right? On the back side, where you legally have to put your brokerage name, your address, your MLS number, you just put that on the back side, which is technically the front, is the white side. Do not double side the postcard. That's what I would say. Yeah, do not double side it.
That is very interesting. So we have a notable thing here in Danville. It's called the Clock Tower. It's right downtown. I mean, if you're in Danville, you're seeing the clock tower. End of story, right? If you're saying go get a photo of it, and then that's your postcard. You're not in it, nothing else, just that, right?
Just that, the headline, and then what are they gonna get? So I offered a free report on 3 different things that the city of Danville is. So this is what I put on the headline. 3 changes city of Danville is making that will affect your home value.
Nice.
That is awesome.
What is going to happen to my home value? That's the first thing. It's always fear. It's always anger.
Yeah.
Now, the report, I used to be a project manager for an industrial contractor. Our clients were cities, and we built wastewater treatment plants. For every city, and this is just the thing dot I connected, for every city, you have a city planning website, right? cityofdanville.com, cityofdanville.gov, probably, whatever it is. You can go Google it, right? If you do that, that website has a ton of free information on what the city of Danville is doing to improve itself. Now, it's always usually positive information. So in my little micro report that I'm offering in the postcard, I would just go take 2 or 3 of the biggest things that they're doing, like a Huffington Post article, summarize it across 2 pages, link back to the original article on the city website, and there's my mini report that I deliver.
Could you do that digitally? Make an ad on Facebook.
Yes, you could. I have split tested doing a postcard with just the number and a URL, and just a URL for just downloading the report. The worst performing is if you put the number and a URL on there together. It has to be one call to action.
Yeah.
And then
radio ads figuring out the same thing. If they get out of web, something like that.
Yeah. So I found that there's more, it can work both well. It also depends on the demographic of the neighborhood. If you have this is actually very key. The only time it pulls like 7% or 6%, which is like astronomically, like you said, walking in water and walking backwards, speaking Latin or whatever, is if it's an older demographic, like super older. The younger demographic you get, the web-based thing is a little bit better. Also, I'm only sending these postcards to farms of 500 and maximum 1,500 homes. Because remember, I'm targeting it to a neighborhood where the welcome sign is the same.
Yeah.
Or a landmark is super recognizable. So you're doing EDDM, every door direct mail, or like you're using a super concentric market. You're not sending this to 5,000 homes because you want that landmark. And again, the best landmark is the welcome sign to the neighborhood if it has one.
So we have in Alamo is one of our main markets. They have 5,300 people in the area. In
like a big subdivision or something?
No, we're kind of split by the freeway.
Okay.
Majority on the east side, but I mean on the east side, the country club in Alamo is called Round Hill. You got a beautiful entrance. So you take a picture of Round Hill Country Club. It'd be a nice photo, right?
Correct.
I mean, you could use that for all of Alamo because pretty much everybody goes there. But if you had to do something on the west side, it would be the little red house with a horse on top of it, the cobbler.
There you go. Yeah, something like that. Everybody knows. Yeah, and you reference the city, and then just a report. Which again, just from the city, and then every month for your follow up is genius because then for your follow up marketing, you just send them that report every month, updated for whatever the minutes are from the city commission planning department that go to the website anyways. Like you can have some personal assistant write it up.
That's killer.
Yeah, you'll get up to a 7%. 7% was the best I ever did in a neighborhood in California, and then like 3 to 5% you can average in pretty much any neighborhood that I've been in. There's only one place that's ever flopped completely.
Where?
Washington, D.C. I don't know why. I still haven't cracked that nut. For some reason,
that's because humans don't live in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Drones do,
right.
and
right.
all the weirdos.
Right. But this has worked in Washington, California, and Florida. So, anyways, that's my short answer. Also,
That's
another
really
guy in Florida, he got stumped by postcard. I had him send out the Dean Jackson postcard, the just sold postcard. Super ghetto design too. A just sold sign with like, your neighbors just sold their house. What's your home worth? Something like that. Sent it out to about 500, 600 homes, and ended up. I don't remember all the metrics, but ended up with 3 listing appointments.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we took a run. Anyways, we got a question. What did you do with all the leads? For lead follow up. What was the last one you just talked about? The neighborhood one? Sorry, it
was a just sold postcard. So Dean Jackson's a name a lot of people know, but he has a just sold postcard that he's kind of contributed as an idea to the industry. And I forget what the website is, but you can get it for free from him. But it's just you take a just sold sign, like a picture. So it's like you can just go on Google Images and type in just sold image, and you'll find like an image, of just like a sign in the yard that says just sold. Put that on the postcard. It's black and white. You can send it out in grayscale. The headline, I forget what the headline is, but you can literally go Google Dean Jackson just sold postcard and you'll see it. Send that out with just the way he explains it, and I have found that it can work pretty darn well. The one thing I will say about where it worked for this guy, for this agent in Florida, it was in historic Kenwood, I think was the name of the neighborhood, historic Kenwood. So it's an area with slightly like, I think it was primarily like 35, 40 years old as a kind of a bottom age range up, but he got 2 or 3 listing appointments out of it.
That would be Alamo. That we're an older demographic. That 30-year-old, but we're more like high 30s, 40s, kind of your lower ownership bracket. In Danville would be great. South Walnut Creek, yeah. My markets would actually be really good for that car. That's really a good idea.
But I'll say this: well, you're right on, Greg, about it usually not being worth agents' time, because the way most agents do it, they need to do it for 6+ months because they do it branding style, like Kevin Smith's. Now, Kevin Smith is rolling at 200+ transactions a year. He's playing a completely different ballgame, and he's sitting in Puerto Rico and he has 10 agents running his business, right? If you're a solo agent, or if you're just starting out, you need to play the direct response game. It's not about your branding. It's about getting response to that card and anything that can improve that.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
that's really good stuff.
You get into branding, that's leveling up, and it's making the phone calls that other people are making easier. Like that's the function of those postcards, is to make it so that when your agent shows up, either in person or on the phone or whatever the case is, that there's already the groundwork is laid so that your brand is recognizable. There's so I did an episode of the Team Building podcast with Jeff Cohn and a guy named Scott Koyman, who's the operations manager for a team down in Phoenix, Scottsdale areas, and down in Arizona. Anyway, they do postcards and mailers out to their farm areas, but they're all branded around the zip code. So literally they will buy thezipcode.com for that area, and then all of their stuff goes out branded with that .com. So every time they'll get random calls from people or visits to their website where all the people had just they don't remember the name of the team. All they know is that they get their stuff every month and they go type in their own zip code.com and find them and then basically say, hey, I'm interested in making a move. So that's kind of an interesting combination of direct response and long-term branding, is to brand all of your stuff around the zip code where you're targeting. Anyway, that's a quick aside. There was another question here that I wanted to throw out to you guys, because it's I think there's a lot of people that watch the show and are active on the Facebook groups that are in this position. So Alexander Nichols says, I have a hypothetical. I'm currently unlicensed, getting licensed very soon, and I'm looking to start building a database of potential future clients. What can I say to get people's information and trust and then possible future business? So Greg, let's start with you. So you're not licensed. What do you do to start building a database and set yourself up so that when you are licensed, you can start, essentially you already have potential prospects waiting for you?
Well, how much time do we have a timeline on this? Do we know if it's like 6 months, 2 days?
Yeah, let's assume 3 months.
Man, you gotta start seeding the waters. You gotta go out there and do Facebook messages to everybody, little 15-second videos of getting back acquainted with them, reestablishing the relationships, building additional relationships. Talking about it incessantly, talking about the fact that you're getting into the business. See if you can pre-order generic business cards and say, hey, look, here's my generic card before I get licensed. I'll get my I'm gonna get my license in 3 months. What's your best information? I'd love to get back in touch with you and get my real card so that I can be in touch with you and help you or your friend or family member down the road. But I would just be a chatterbox, man. Everywhere you go, be a chatterbox. I'm getting into real estate. I'm getting into real estate. Don't answer questions you can't legally. So in California, you can't talk about square footage or price. You can't talk about that stuff. But talk about stuff like, hey, dude, I was on Zillow and I was looking at all these properties are selling. These are the trends I'm looking at. Go on to Neighborhood Scout, start reading up and gobbling up as much hyper local content as you can, so that when you start doing your prospecting, you know exactly about these markets, because you can start holding open houses and you can really talk in depth about this. Go to since you're not an MLS, you don't have access to that. So go to HomeSnap. And start really comparing and contrasting the different markets, what's trending, what's going on in the last 30 days to the year, start learning the market, so that when you hit the ground running, your wheels are already turning at 150 miles an hour and you're just going to peel out of there like a bat out of hell. That would be something that I would highly recommend. But just the one thing that people don't do is they feel that they can't talk about real estate when they're not licensed. But think about it. Everybody who's not licensed talks about real estate. So why can't you talk about the fact that you're getting into it and you're super pumped? You're an average consumer that's super excited. Just don't break the law. Don't talk about stuff you can't, and go for it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Andre, what do you have to contribute on that one?
I'd say three things, and two of them I think are echoing what Greg is saying. One is pick a market and become an expert on it. Like, you're getting licensed right now, become used to actually thinking as an agent, seeing the market as an agent, and start practicing every day. See what new inventory comes on the market. Now, if you don't have MLS access, I'm assuming you might know where your office is going to be at, your brokerage is going to be at. So maybe you can participate by being there in person, or just checking Zillow, just different, or like Greg just said, HomeSnap, but just trying to become an expert on even one small area of your market so you can start thinking about it in those terms. The second thing I would say is, if you know what your brokerage is going to be and who your fellow agents are going to be, go figure out which ones have listings. Start planning 3 to 4 to 5 open houses per weeks in advance, and have 3 to 5 open houses per week. Come to the Gillising Summit, which is free, and get a Chris Suarez's session and learn how to do open houses, where every open house will get you 2 new clients on average. And the third thing I would say is try to connect with influencers now and potential referral partners. There's nothing that will stop you from that, whether it's meeting with, a title company, a loan officers, attorneys. Maybe there's a niche you want to focus on, like divorce attorneys, probate attorneys. Nothing is stopping you right now from meeting with potential referral partners and starting to see that now.
You actually took the words out of my mouth. I was going to add in, go start doing open houses, because non-licensees, especially in California, can do open houses. I did them as a child. Trust me. It's like slave labor.
But I've never heard you say that, Greg. You did them as a child?
Oh yeah, dude.
You're manning open houses as a child?
Oh yeah, in high school, my dad would recruit me and all my friends. We do the open house, and then all of us would go over to my parents' house, and they would feed us this lavish meal. But then they made us watch Touched by an Angel, so it was kind of like a bait and switch.
That was a great show.
Oh, no one should be subjected to that.
I loved watching that show as a kid.
I cried every time I watched that damn thing. But another thing to piggyback off of Andre on regards, I got the nose pinch. Yes. So what I would do is I would go learn your marketplace, go into your feeder markets and figure out who the top agents are in your feeder markets that come into your area. Start befriending them and start saying, hey, look, I want to be an advocate for your clients in this area. What's one way I can serve your clients to the highest degree of professionalism, once you start sending me referrals? Start learning from these top level people that you're not competing with, and then saying, look, I want to be able to serve your clients at the highest level possible. So just another way to build, good relationship with top agents, figure out your market, where your future buyer leads are coming from, and, being able to do this all pre-getting licensed.
Many of the successful agents on the summit, at the Gill Summit, have said one of the tips of advice that they give is go find successful agents to talk with them. You'll be surprised how many will sit down, will meet with you, and will truly coach you and guide you. You'd be surprised. And for the once in a while, the few that might say, just if the first one that you call says no or is an asshole to you or whatever, just move on. Just call the next one. Like within 3-4 calls, you'll find a successful agent that will happily let you take them out to lunch and pick their brain. Like you'll find somebody to be friends with.
Absolutely. I always say this: don't go to the middle level agent. Don't go to the average agent in the office. The really cool guy, nice gal, whatever else. If they're not doing business, there's a reason. Okay.
Right.
And they probably won't share with you because they're afraid that you're going to take any and everything that they're doing and use it against them as an evildoer, and no, in reality, the top agents are not threatened by you. They want to see you do well. I mean, everyone who does well in this business wants to see other agents do well, because if we have another good agent, then running a deal with you is going to be a lot easier than you working with, the dipshit that doesn't know what they're talking about. There's a big part there. And I'm really glad that a lot more people are actually, being willing to do this. A lot of younger agents had no idea that a top agent would take their time. But hey, we all got to eat, man. We all like coffee. Right. Shit. Right. Throw a beer in there.
Well, and you have an abundance mentality, which most new agents do not have, so they can't relate.
Here's another thing that's been thrown out too by some of the agents. I think Amanda Howard, for example, said that she did 710 transactions last year in Alabama. And she says, go get on a team. Go talk to the high level agents. I'm talking, when Greg says big agents, I'm talking like multiple hundred transactions or more. Yeah. If you have them, potentially get on a team for a couple of years. They've got the systems and the structure in place, so you can then just focus on becoming a good agent, like just becoming good at the sales skill part of it. Because when you become an agent, you got to learn sales skills, right? Prospecting skills, script, dialogue skills, relationship, right? So if you don't have that, maybe getting on a team for the first couple of years is the best decision, and then you can springboard from that. So look at it as an opportunity potentially for that as well. And the best agents out there are always recruiting for their team. So that's one of the reasons why they might go out to lunch with you and talk with you and coach you and train you, because you might be the right fit for them.
We actually had a young guy contact us the other day about potentially joining the team. He was going to interview a lot of the other teams and then get back to us by the end of the week or something. Not quite sure, but he's 19, man, and he has the wherewithal inside of him to actually go out, hunt down, and talk to different teams. So it's a good thing. Huh?
Slave labor.
Yeah, slave labor. I was a victim of it. Fortunately, I got out of the racket. I still have the scars to prove it. It was horrible.
You're still slave labor. You've just employed yourself now.
Yeah.
All right. So Andre, let everybody know how they can get it, because you mentioned it's free. So where do people go, and how do people get involved with the Get Listing Summit?
You go to getlistings.com. And on there, you'll see a short video from me. You'll see some information about the summit. You'll see most of the speakers. Greg is on there. There's multiple buttons on the page. It's really hard. What you have to do is you have to click on the button. There's going to pop up a form. You have to struggle through entering your name and your email address and then clicking submit. If you can make it through all that, you've got a free ticket on its way to onto your inbox. And then all the speaker sessions are free to attend. The summit kicks off on January 31st, runs through February 16th. It's going to be about 3 speaker sessions a day. These things are pure real estate gold. Just incredible how open the speakers get about sharing stuff. I mean, Greg's session is awesome. I'm sure the second one's going to be great. We're going to record it here in a couple of days. And then also, there is also an opportunity to buy an all access pass, which isn't that much money right now. It's currently available for $97. What that does, if you want it, you don't have to buy it to get access to the speaker sessions. You get access to everybody for free for 48 hours from whenever a session launches, goes up live. After that, if you want permanent access, you spend $97. You get permanent access to everybody, plus over $2,000 in tools, resources, and bonuses contributed by speakers. Now, these aren't like gimmicky ebooks. This is real stuff that they're selling. Like one thing that's contributed there, remember, is Josh Shanley from Client Alchemist, seller referral black box, right? Like a course, so stuff you would normally have to pay money for. What we're doing with the summit, though, is half of all these paid ticket sales are going to an orphanage in the Philippines called Boys Town. It's a cause that we're supporting. So if you decide to invest in yourself, you're also then investing in the future of literally over 400 kids in the Philippines. So
Wow.
Awesome.
But yeah, getlistingsummit.com, free tickets, show up, learn, and apply.
Love it. Awesome.
I found out also from Bob Corcoran, this is the first summit in the real estate space, online summit in the real estate space that's video based. All the other summits have been audio based. So everybody's on video just like this, and it's just really in-depth hour-long conversations on average.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, we'll put a link in there for you guys to go and take a look at it. But I know a lot of the speakers that are on this thing personally, and these guys are just rock star heavy hitters. I mean, you're gonna have to listen to this shit twice.
Yeah.
Because if you like what we just did, because I know there's been a lot of comments on Facebook, Andrey, talking about how much they've enjoyed this session, like do great content, blah blah blah. If you think this is good, shit, man, you're gonna love what we're gonna do at the summit.
Yeah, I just told you everything I know. Like, if there's another question that comes through, I'm flat. So I just literally told you everything I know. But if you come to the summit, you get to hear me ask a bunch of questions that have been dropped in my head repeatedly. And so, but really dig deep in with the speakers. And I'm telling you, when you start asking the questions and let them ride, they just open up and just start sharing what they do in their business. So bring a notepad and pen.
That's right. Cool, guys. Well, let's before we wrap things up, what do we say we take one, maybe two more questions here real quick. So this one from Brian Susi says, hey, I'm looking for a good script when calling people who have recently been engaged in order to talk to them about home ownership. Greg.
What?
Looking for a good script when calling people who've been recently engaged in order to talk to them about home ownership.
I thought you cussed at me. Engaged. Marriage.
So, yeah, it's one of those pesky 8-letter words. How dare you?
One of the good things to talk about, say, hey, look, congratulations, Matt and Julie. We're really excited. I understand you guys just got engaged. That's super exciting. Do you have any plans to potentially be purchasing sooner than later, or are you just focusing on the wedding? How can I help with the wedding? Is there anything I can do? Any resources I can bring to you? Anything like that? Just start off with offering value to them, see what you can bring to them, because dude, she's going to be freaking out. He's not going to give a shit. The mother-in-laws are going to descend upon the poor future bride. The poor woman's going to be stressed out. So I mean,
sounds like the best time to throw a home search right on top of that, doesn't it?
No. Wouldn't be my top choice. Let me add more stress to you.
So I think Greg's choice for that was avoid script, avoid phone call, moving on.
Just pretend you don't see them, arm bar, and move.
That's right. Heisman and shoulder roll out the door. All
yes.
Right. All right. So let's take another one. This is an interesting one. Ken Cortade says, what's the best script to start or warm up a relationship with a neighbor? I developed a script that focused on providing contractor and salespeople resources, but didn't see one online anywhere to that effect. So, Greg, how would you talk to neighbors, and just, I guess, in your own neighborhood and in the neighborhood around maybe a listing? Would you use your good guys list as kind of an in?
Like I have a new listing. I'm going to go door knock or call.
Potentially. He doesn't say specifically. So let's assume you just want to work in the area, or it's the area where you live in. You want to develop some relationships with the neighbors.
Okay. Actually, Eileen, the steel trap right there, ladies and gentlemen, put her on camera. She's going to now skin me alive for the rest of my short life of next 30 minutes. She had a phenomenal idea today, guys, and I'm going to share it out with you. And this is for you, Eileen. This is for you, girl. Don't ever say I didn't give you something. Um,
Props on the podcast. I think you're just hoping more for like a vacation home or a nice fruit basket, but sure, props on the podcast. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That works.
Yeah.
No, she had a great idea. Is that all these pendings out there? If you can go check and see if there are multiple offers given, and then if there's multiple offers, call around that neighborhood and say, hey, property 123 Main Street just went pending, but they had 4 offers. There's 3 other people looking. You guys thinking about making a move? But just go talk about what the market's doing, bring information about it. People, look, dude, I mean, when I don't have a postcard in front of me, but I mean, I get the postcards or mailers at my house, like what the market's been doing. Dude, I seriously grab it. I take it upstairs. I get a beer and I plop down on my couch. I'm like, ooh, look at that one. I mean, I could go on MLS and just look at real time, but I like sitting and holding the thing.
Yeah.
So just bring valuable information to them.
Of course, that does mean that you've been deceiving us all along and you're actually 65 years old.
Yeah, don't I look good? I mean, this is what we call good genetics.
Look at the skin.
Glowy.
Andre, back when you were in real estate, or you can draw from the experience of some of the guys that you've interviewed recently, but how would you throw down on that question? So best script to start or warm up a relationship with neighbors?
Throw a client appreciation party somewhere in your neighborhood and invite all your neighbors.
That really does work really well. We did it.
Yeah.
And
You can invite everybody. As a matter of fact, speaking with the guy who asked how to start before he's even licensed, you can throw a party for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then to the guy about the newlyweds, just know that we are at a 30-year all-time low for first-time buyers. The majority of the buyers in the marketplace today are second-time buyers with a listing to sell, which means 40% of all buyers today have a listing to sell too. So 40% of buyer leads are listing leads too.
Well, those are good. I like those numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just know that when you're going to newlyweds, you're walking into a that market overall, first-time buyer market right now is the lowest point of oxygen it's ever had. So just know that.
Yeah.
So
and they're some of the hardest people to work with too. So I don't know why anybody goes after them intentionally, other than just the fact that they're in the same age group.
So any of you guys that actually want to go deal with newlyweds or people that are getting engaged, ladies, I'm talking to you on this one specifically. They have those bridal events or what are those things called? Like those big events where all the brides can come together and it's all wedding stuff. Like they have the cakes and the dresses and the whatever else is. What do they call it? Yeah, bridal expos or whatever else. Yeah. Go get a booth at one of those and hand out useful information about how to buy a home or how to sell a home or anything else. Or just find out give something away that they might need. I don't know. Just go be around those folks and talk bridal talk.
You can also possibly go interview like a CPA or a tax attorney on financial planning for newlyweds and tax ramifications of like buying a home, and you can interview them for a webinar and then offer a free video for people to opt in. So it's an indirect way of talking about real estate where it's, how to plan for buying a home as a newlywed, right? Because you're commingling now taxes, you're commingling a lot of things now. And so what are the ramifications? What are the scary threats of that? Well, what are the mistakes people make? Like the top 3 mistakes newlyweds make when they're buying a home and their finances or something like that. Then just go find a couple, a tax attorney, a CPA, and now turn those cats into your referral partners too. But do a webinar or a video interview with them, and then make that a lead magnet on Facebook, email that out, send that, put that on Facebook groups, maybe.
That's a phenomenal idea. I'm going to actually physically do that. I really do like that one.
I just convinced you to go after newlyweds.
Yeah.
Did we just convert him in like 10 minutes from like stiff arm, armbar Heisman to he go after the niche?
Hey man, their money's green too. I'm cool with that.
Green too. Not if they're from Canada. It might be blue.
Ooh, yeah, the Canadians, those crazy Canadians, eh? Right. So one more time. Is it getlistingssummit.com? Is that right?
Yes, we don't want just one listing. We want many listings. So it's getlistingssummit.com. And if you go there, you can avail thyself of a free pass to the kingdom of many listings and just come and learn at the feet of many experts. They're really real estate rock stars is what they are.
All right, I am posting the link now for you guys, so please enjoy. Go sign up. Share it with your office. Share it with your friends. Share it with your dog walker. Everybody needs to be here. If they're thinking about being in real estate or they are in real estate, get here. It's free. There is zero reason why you should not sit and learn and then put it into your business and make a shit ton of money.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, let's put a little ribbon around this one, and let's see. A couple things to mention. So on our site, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, we've got Greg's favorite scripts. That is absolutely free. That is a free download of just what it sounds like. It is Greg's favorite scripts, along with video links to each one where I get Greg to go through the phrasing and the tonality and the actual words that he says. And then you can check out the high-touch real estate farming. That is a complete, like, 8.5-hour video training course. Where I basically put Greg's head in a bench vise and squeezed all the just like throwing a cantaloupe into a bench vise. I say all the time. I know it's a cliche. I know it's a cliche, but like a cantaloupe in a bench vise. That's how I took Greg's head and squeezed all the goodness out of it onto that video training course. So that is for sale on the site, so check those things out. As always, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, or Stitcher, depending on how you would like the show delivered to you and whether you want us in your ears and between your ears where you so belong. Between your ears. Yes, there we go. It's not around, not on, not in, just between. But anyway, all right, guys. Greg, as always, follow him. Do not friend him.
No friend.
We'll be unsuccessful in that mission because Facebook does not allow more than 5,000.
Yeah, guys, follow me. I do a lot of shows besides this one. I show you guys different techniques. We do scripts show. So yeah, do come and check it out. Follow me. Trust me, it'll be fun. You will not be upset. Well, maybe you will. Then you'll defriend me, and then it's okay.
Yeah, just be prepared for cussing. That's all I'm saying. We call the show Real Estate Uncensored for a reason, and that reason is not Matt Johnson.
No, it's not.
Despite the fact that currently, Greg, you are labeled as Matt Johnson on this hangout, which somebody pointed out, but that's all right. There we have our reasons. It was a wonder that Greg was able to get on at all, and that's okay.
Yes.
And if he passes for Matt Johnson, I'm fine. He won't destroy my reputation too badly. So
I am. How come you're just Johnson and I'm your doppelganger, I guess, in this show?
I guess. Brothers from another mother. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for us. We have an episode just me and Greg this Friday coming up. We're going to be taking your questions. We're going to be talking about what's on our minds. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Greg's business this year, what's going to be going on in my podcasting business, and what our plans are. We're going to talk about all that stuff. We're going to talk about leverage and just everything that's on our minds, as well as taking your questions. So that's on Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So, guys,
Matt, you know what that means? Matt, you know what that means? You know what that means? They better freaking show up because we're showing up.
Well, God willing, weather and technology permitting. Thank you, Greg.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on